Hello guys, the bedrock of future businesses is customer service. You can't really serve the customer you don't really know effectively. Today I want to talk to us about customer service. Every product is designed for a specific customer. So the big question is this: who is your product designed for? You need to learn your customers as much as learn your product. You can't sell a product you know to a customer you don't know. And you can't sell a product you don't know to a customer that you know. You've got to know your customers as well as your product. The quality of your product will make your customer pay. The quality of your service will make your customer come back. Customers don't really buy the best products in the market. Customers buy what they remember. The biggest brands in the world are not necessarily the best brands in the world. The biggest phone around the world, the biggest car in the world is not essentially the best car in the world. The biggest brands are simply the brands that are remembered the most by their customers. Big companies and great brands spend billions of dollars on adverts simply to get the attention of their customers, and very importantly, have them constantly remember their products every single time they have a need for it. Sometimes people get skeptical and try to find out, why do big companies spend so much money on adverts? It's very simple. Customer service is a chemistry of perception. Your product is as good as the perception of your customers. How you view your product doesn't really make it sell. How your customers view your product is what makes it sell. The reason why so many big companies and so many big brands spend so much on adverts is to work on the perception of the customer. How they think about their product is how good their product really is. It's not about what you think it is, it's what they think it is. It's not what you say it is what they say it is. The reason why it's very important to know who your customer is as much as you know what your product is because you've got to learn the language of your customer. You can't learn the language of your customer if you don't know who the customer is. The reason why small brands remain small is because they expect their customers to understand their language and not the language of the customer. If you are not heard, you are a bad product. I don't care how much billions you spend on your product. I don't care how many trainings you've gone to. If your customers can't hear you, you are not selling. They buy you when they can hear you, and they hear you if you are speaking their language. Very important. It is your product that sells, but it is their language that counts. I want to quickly talk to us about 4 things that I think will help you understand the language of your customers. Number 1, you need to be sensitive to your customers' interest. Your concern should be their concern. Their concern should be your concern. You need to protect your client. What matters to your customer must matter to you. Back in the day, all that we cared about was who is buying our product. But the new generation business isn't just concerned about who is buying their product. They are now concerned about how many children does he have. Is he married? Is he single? Is he a corporate worker? Is he a civil worker? Everything that touches your client or your customer must touch you. To understand the language of your customer, number 1, you must be sensitive to the interest of your customer. Every customer that walks through your door is your concern. Number 2, you must be sensitive to the fears of your customer. Every customer has certain quiet, nagging fear. Some customers actually are driven by their fears. You need to understand and appreciate what is your customer afraid of. Some customers who walk in through your door have had bad experiences with other products like yours. Some customers have had very terrible experiences with services that are very similar to yours. You need to understand what is the fear that is driving your customer. Number 3, you must be sensitive to the needs of your customers. Needs mutate, needs do change. Several years ago, we owned phones just to receive phone calls. Today, mobile phones do more than phone calls. Today, mobile phones are notepads to take down notes. Mobile phones have turned to cameras. Mobile phones have become textbooks. Mobile phones have become movie theaters. The need for a phone has changed. As the changes occur, you need to learn those changes as they grow and they mutate amongst your customer. Needs mutate, needs change. You have to be very sensitive to the needs of your customers, and as they change, you must change with them. And number 4 is you must be sensitive to the wants of your customers. You have the need of the customer, you have the want of the customer. The need must be there. The wants is tailored to the ego of your customers or the pleasurable desires of your customers. Customers do have ego, and you must play to the ego of your customers. You need to understand the language of your customer. You need to educate yourself on the language of your customer. What is right by you might not be right by your customer. The goal of every customer service is to educate yourself on the problems of your customers and become the solution to that problem. Not just have the solution, you need to become the solution to the problems of your customer. Thank you guys very much. I'll see you next time.